Sarah, you're really doing okay. I know what she means. Mom, that's in the past. I know. Still hurts when I think about it. I squeeze her hand. I'm genuinely fine now. She nods. Eyes red. Good, good. After dinner my mom takes Leo home. I sit alone, gazing at the ocean outside. 1 year. Divorced 1 full year. Promoted. Bought a home. Life on track. Leo thrives. Kindergarten at a top school in Sherman Oaks. Lots of friends. When Daniel visits he can say, Dad, without turmoil. I never block their time together. He is, after all, still Leo's father. But Daniel and I share nothing else. My phone buzzes. A WhatsApp. From Daniel. I glance, then delete it. Whatever he wrote no longer matters. I don't care. I stand and leave. Outside, the sun is perfect. I remember his words a year ago. She knows how to treat a man better. I smile. The one who treats you better isn't necessarily good. And I no longer need anyone to treat me. I can treat myself just fine. I walk briskly down the sidewalk. Work tomorrow. Disneyland with Leo the day after. Next week I present a project. Lots to prep. Life is full. And I'm fulfilled. My phone rings again. I check it. Vivian texting, Sarah, free this weekend. Drinks in Beverly Hills? I reply, I'm in. Pick the place. I pocket the phone and keep walking. Sun on my face. Warm and steady. I breathe in deep. This is the life I want. No one needs to treat me. I only need myself. Living well. Thanks for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your opinions. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time. The moment I stepped into the room, Chase and his mistress were stretched out on the marital bed I'd bought, stark naked, already holding out the divorce papers for me. He still looked utterly fearless, as if he was sure I wouldn't dare be angry. Since you're here, just sign it. Nova's pregnant. While Chase spoke, he stroked the woman's bare skin with lazy intimacy, angling her away from me. Nova's still young, so don't lose it like you did the last few times. You'll scare her. He thought he had the world in his arms, but what Chase didn't know was every single one of his mistresses had been handpicked by me. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. The nightstand was littered with a dense layer of condoms. I could almost picture how wild it had been before I arrived. I drew a slow breath and forced the corners of my mouth to behave. Really? Didn't you promise you'd never bring anyone else into our home? Chase kicked the woman off the bed with 1 foot, eyes sparkling as he studied her like a cracked vase. So what? You've done a decent job as Mrs. Xavier, but for the air production part, he hugged the woman tighter. I need a specialist. Besides, I was drunk and needy. Someone had to help me unwind. I glanced down at the woman pretending to be a mushroom on the carpet and pressed my lips together. Leave. Chase burst out laughing. Honey, you're so generous. I absolutely love this side of you. He moved to hug me, naked, and I sidestepped under the pretense of helping the woman to her feet. His hands froze, irritation flickering across his face. Then let's divorce. I cut him off, plucked the agreement off the bed, pulled a pen from my pocket, and signed my name in 1 brisk stroke. Done. Assets split 90-10, my 90. Your 10. You walk away with nothing. Question mark. Chase stared in disbelief. The woman who'd been heading for the door stopped and looked back. Have you lost your mind, Skylar? Tears spilled instantly, yet my voice stayed righteous. You cheated during our marriage. You're the guilty party. She's pregnant and will need to support the child. So this is the only fair solution. Veins throbbed at Chase's temples. How very generous. Why don't you read what the agreement actually says? At that, his smooth, confident smile snapped back into place. My stomach sank. I scanned the page and sure enough found the clause stating that the wife must unconditionally leave the marriage with nothing. Damn, this man's heart was blacker than ink. So what makes you think you're entitled to a penny? Even if we divorce, I'm the one who dumps you. He yanked me against him and pinched my cheek. I tilted my head, beaming. Babe, I'm pretty sure I just grabbed the pen from your calligraphy workbook on the desk. The disappearing ink kind one uses for repetitive drills. He didn't flare up at my counter move. Instead, he looked happier. You really can't live without me. I knew Chase was a businessman who suspected everyone, but I was also the heiress who'd memorized every column of the ledger. My poor husband still believed I was in love with him. That conversation ended in acrimony. The divorce never happened. Of course, I wouldn't allow it to happen. With the Ellison board election looming, filing for divorce first would be like tattooing failed wife unstable across my forehead. I needed unanimous support, not sidewalk gossip. When the split came, it would be after every sordid detail of Chase's cheating, soliciting escorts, and high-stakes gambling was flayed open in daylight. Then the world would remember a woman betrayed yet still grinding at her desk. Divorce obtained, votes secured. 2 birds, 1 stone, why not? Chase kept leaning on the horn downstairs, urging me to hurry. I smoothed my dress, stepped into the car reeking of sour sex, and kept my expression frozen even as my stomach lurched. I've balanced those accounts that have been worrying you. Want to double-check? No need. I trust you. He peeled off the foul-smelling shirt and changed into the fresh set I'd prepared. I simply smiled. At the reception venue in Manhattan, I draped myself on his arm, gentle and radiant, dabbing his sweat, pouring his water, whispering sweet nothings. Skylar, you love me that much. Can't bear a minute apart? He tipped my chin, tone unreadable. Of course, I really do love you. Who wouldn't love the person smoothing their road to glory? My honeyed words clearly delighted him. Chase ignored several glamorous women who came to chat. That wouldn't do. If Chase suddenly turned faithful, my bored seat would evaporate. While Chase talked business with some executives, I flicked a glance toward the shadows. Moments later, a man appeared, towing a pretty girl. President Xavier. A pleasure. This is my daughter, Sophia Ning. He tugged her forward. Say hello to President Xavier. Sophia greeted Chase in a syrupy voice. My grin widened. Chase's eyes had already glazed when he looked at me for permission. How could I refuse? Babe, I see a few partners I need to greet. Will you be okay? On your own? I drooped my head, feigning reluctance, and drifted away. Then be careful. Honey, I'll talk with Sophia here. He watched my retreating back, certain I was hopelessly his. She can't even refuse a request like that. Skylar's crazy about me. That's what he thought. I didn't head for any partners. I walked straight to the cramped security hub and settled in front of a wall of monitors, displaying every guest room camera. Before long, Chase appeared on one feed. I propped my chin and smiled. Quite energetic. The man had stamina. I'd seen his medical reports, blood sugar red-zoned for 10 straight years. Yet he could still rise to the occasion. I cursed the doctor 18 times in my head. Liar. Wasn't chronic hyperglycemia supposed to cause ED? But imagining the public relations windfall when these videos surfaced cheered me up again. After roughly an hour it was over. I had someone burn a blurred copy for Sophia and loaded the file onto a flash drive. All ammunition for Chase's reckoning. Skylar, may I come in? I turned and patted her hand gently. Well done. Your sister's tuition and medical bills will be wired in full. Board chair election day was approaching. It was time to float a trial balloon. Once those intimate photos leaked online, the backlash surged. First a ripple, then a wave. Skylar's such a good wife and Chase still cheated. Men really are scum. Nothing's as tasty as stolen water. I watched all those press clips, and I could see how much Skylar loved her husband. So much love in her eyes you couldn't fake or hide it. How did she end up with this deadbeat? I scrolled through the comments. Every single one was kind to me, and the occasional troll didn't bother me. I powered the phone off and glanced at Chase beside me, who was also thumbing his screen. I wondered if he'd seen. I doubted it. His brain only has space for making money and getting laid. Nothing else. Simple. Adorable. Babe, believe me or not, I really do love you. I leaned over and hugged him, catching a glimpse of his display in my peripheral vision. Wrong guess. This time the mess had touched his interests. Sure enough, Chase shot me a sour look, then pinched the back of my neck. Honey, some nasty comments about your babe are trending. Any idea why? I pretended to ponder. Adrian, maybe? Chase's face iced over. He squeezed my nape hard, voice low and grim. You still thinking about him? Right, Adrian is his business archenemy and my first love. The man I almost married. Then Chase barged in, took 6 bullets meant for me during a Miami gang shootout, and won my heart. After the wedding, though, Chase cheated every night. I thought he'd stopped caring. Turns out, he's just a hypocrite. I let out a soft laugh and soothed him. Of course not. Everything I think about is you, babe. Only then did his expression loosen a fraction, and even that qualified as an improvement. Honey, behave. Don't make me unhappy, or you might spend the rest of your life in Bethlehem or Miami. I clenched my molars so tight they hurt, but my face stayed blank. He brushed my lips, then dipped his head. I deliberately turned to grab my phone, so he kissed fabric instead. That mouth has been on half the city of filthy. No way it was touching mine. Luckily my best friend Briar pinged me. Drinks? I waved the screen at Chase. Babe, Briar wants me out. When I'm back there's dinner in the fridge. Just nuke it if you're hungry. Hilarious. There's nothing there. In 10 years of marriage Chase Chase has never stayed home past sunset. My considerate lie didn't soften his bruised ego. I didn't care. I sprinted upstairs, changed, and left. So I missed the dark flicker in his eyes as he watched me go. Which is why, when I spotted Chase at Briar's Los Angeles party, I had to admit it was unexpected. But years of charming vipers and saints alike hadn't been wasted. I stood next to Briar, watched him smirk at me, then kiss the girl in front of him. I glanced over. Briar's freshly disgraced kid sister, Lily, the ballet student. Nice lines. Exactly Chase's type. For once. Though, she wasn't my plant. Lily's diving headfirst. Darling, don't be mad at me, Briar murmured, lifting my chin with a playful stare. Hard pass. I'm straight. I looked away. Chase was already groping Lily while the crowd cheered. And a few people had noticed me. Perfect moment to polish my victim brand. I played the heartbroken wife, seeing her first betrayal. Tears on cue. Babe, weren't you working from home? Chase had broken the kiss by then. Everyone scented fresh drama. Your work is cuddling someone else in public. I choked up. Chase sat handcuffed, his hair already cropped short. The moment he saw me, his stare was cold enough to carve me into 1,000 pieces, separated by glass. I took a folder from my bag, signed the divorce papers. I'd rather die. You're shackled to me for life. Skylar, you don't love me. Why cling? Love. Screw love. I hate you. Hate your fickle, cheating guts. I took 6 bullets for you, and this is how you repay me? So those 6 bullets were the down payment on my life? I shook my head. I got pregnant for you, but you killed our child. I drank until my stomach bled for you, and you delivered me to another man's bed. I've wondered how someone like you ever found the courage to take those bullets. Chase froze, gaping. I produced the jade hairpin, emerald green. My mother left it to me. I gave it to you because I loved you. You gave it to your mistress because you hate me. Pathetic. I opened my hand. The hairpin hit the tiles and shattered, our 12 years splintering with it. Good. Bye. I stood and left without looking back. Chase watched until the door swallowed the last sliver of light. He dropped his gaze to his bare ring finger, where a band's ghost should have been. On trial day, I saw Chase again. He sat in the defendant's dock, jumpsuit loose, wrists cuffed and glinting. The judge brought the gavel down. The criminal trial of Chase Xavier, rape, assault, financial crimes, begins now. The prosecutor started reading. Every sentence slit open the corpse of our marriage. Chase stared at the pale ring mark on my left hand. Where's my ring? He'd stepped from the bathroom toweling his hair, slipped down the drain while I showered. Water trickled over the fresh hickey he didn't bother hiding. I kept my back to him all night. At dawn he feigned sleep while my fingertip trembled across his empty ring finger. Defendant Xavier, do you admit to multiple affairs during the marriage? His lawyer jumped in. My client concedes emotional fault. But that's moral, not criminal. I admit it. Chase cut him off. The room went still. I lifted a brow. Then he produced something, an emerald hairpin, identical to the one I'd smashed. I'm sorry. I never should have given your gift away. I had it repaired. I forgot it had been your mother's. A hiss rippled through the gallery. I didn't take it. Order. The judge slammed the gavel. Next came medical records. My miscarriage night. Patient Skylar Ellison, 14 weeks pregnant. Blunt force caused catastrophic bleed. Uterus irreparably damaged. Permanent infertility. Chase's fingers curled into a fist. I, too, remembered, lying on the gurney. Blood soaking my clothes. He'd rushed in, swinging a Hermes shopping tote. Have you eaten? I asked. He frowned. The baby? Gone. He hurled the bag. Skylar, you couldn't even keep one child? The tote shattered my only water glass. Shards sliced my hand. He never noticed. The prosecutor's voice stayed icy. Per witness Haley Carter. She shoved the plaintiff down the stairs. Defendant Chase watched and did nothing. Defense rose. My client's back was turned. I saw. Chase interrupted again. His nails dug crescents into his palms. I saw Haley push her. I didn't stop it. The gallery erupted. The judge pounded 3 times. Why? The prosecutor demanded. Chase looked past me, into nothing, because his voice scraped raw. She was crawling toward me, crying. I thought, what a pain. Silence fell like a tomb. I'd reached for him, begging. He'd stood 3 steps away, straightening his cuff while Haley hooked her arm through his. Come on, Xavier. We'll be late for the reception. They stepped over me and left. My face stayed blank until the final evidence. 7 years ago the plaintiff was gang raped in a hotel. Police closed the case for lack of evidence. This investigation recovered the defendant's phone data. Chat logs from that night glowed on screen. Chase, Davis. About that project, I'm shaving 3 points off. Davis, oh, what's the catch? Chase, my honey's in Hilton Los Angeles Suite 1608. I just drugged her. She won't fight. Davis. Ha! Generous. Xavier, I'll take those 3 points. Chase, enjoy. Just don't kill her. You could hear breathing stop. Chase stared, spine liquefying, sliding down the chair. What had he been thinking? How could he do that to his wife? I kept hoping you'd come save me, I said. But you never did. Defendant, the judge intoned, distant as thunder. Do you confirm these messages are genuine? Chase opened his mouth. No sound. His lawyer, Ashen, had already given up. After an eternity, Chase lifted his head. I admit it, he said. All of it. Then he did what stunned everyone. He rose, turned toward me, and slowly knelt. Handcuffs clanged against the floor. Skylar, his voice was shaking so badly it almost broke. Kill me, defendant. Maintain order, the judge barked. A bailiff lunged forward to haul him up, but he thrashed, eyes nailed to me. Please, he begged, sweat and tears streaking together. Kill me, or forgive me. Every gaze in the courtroom snapped to me. Cameras, reporters, spectators, all stopped breathing while they waited for my answer. Just like that night in the hotel suite, when I waited for the door to be kicked in, waited for him to storm in like some hero. He never came. Today, I won't bend either. I rose slowly, straightened my collar, and faced the bench. Your Honor, I said, calm and clear. I withdraw my civil claim for damages. The gallery erupted. A spark flared in Chase's eyes, the last flicker of a dying man. My next sentence snuffed it out. Because I am asking, I paused, that the defendant Chase Xavier be sentenced to the maximum penalty allowed by California law. Silence. Then an explosion of voices. The gavel crashed. Counsel, state your grounds. I watched the light in Chase's eyes go black before I spoke again. Money cannot measure what he broke in me. Only the harshest penalty can show this country that cheating on your wife isn't a private matter. That grinding a woman's dignity into dust isn't a romantic debt. That trading your spouse like a commodity isn't a business tactic. My gaze swept the pews, swept every lens trained on me. I stand here not merely as Skylar Ellison. I am every wife who stayed silent after the affairs. Every woman who never called 911 after the fists. Every victim who swallowed her story. Today Chase kneels. Not to me, but to the law. To every woman who has ever been hurt. I looked back at the judge. Each word a hammer blow. I ask for this penalty, not for revenge. I ask for a monument, so that any man who thinks of betrayal will remember it. So that any woman who bleeds will see it. Carved upon it. Women are not possessions. Marriage is not a cover-up. And the law, I let the hush settle till it ached, will always side with the victim. I sat. I never glanced at Chase again. He collapsed, spineless, a marionette with its strings sliced. When the bailiffs dragged him up he was liquid, lips still moving. I read the shape. Sorry. If the 2 kids we used to be could see this courtroom, they would never understand how love once so bright could twist into mutual ruin. Yet no one can erase the truth. Years ago I ran to him in a white dress, melting mango ice cream in hand, complaining there was no strawberry. He laughed, kissed the drip off my skirt while the sun danced in his eyes. That love was real. The judge adjourned. Sentencing set for a later date. I walked out. The corridor stretched forever. Sunlight blazing at the far end. My assistant messaged, prison break, Chase gone. Looking at the blood-smeared man in a jumpsuit kneeling in my Beverly Hills foyer, I almost smiled. Escaped. Still the same hot-blooded fool who once took 6 bullets for me. Honey, he croaked, reaching for my hem. I stepped back into the bright living room light and stared down at him. No apologies necessary. I turned and poured myself a glass of water. Actually, every mistress after the first was handpicked by me. His eyes bulged. After the miscarriage I lay in that hospital bed for weeks and you never came. That's when I knew. You were useless. Color drained from his face. Back then I was nothing, junior staff. Anyone could stomp on me. I tipped his chin up with the toe of my pump. Fortune pitted me. Your pregnant lover miscarried too. Or I'd never have learned how I would have died. Understand yet? From your second affair onward you walked into my script. The lovers. The trysts. The caught in the act photos. I built that stage. Each betrayal bought me sympathy. Each new girl gave me leverage. You thought you were playing me? I leaned to his ear. Chase, for 12 years you've been the clown in my play, strutting for an audience of one. Sirens wailed closer. Red-blue lights lashed the walls. He cracked, sobbing like a child. Why, Skylar, why so cruel? Cruel? I straightened my cuff. Cruel was you shoving me onto another man's bed without blinking. Cruel was you watching me tumble down the stairs and doing nothing. Had you considered me once, we wouldn't be here. Police burst in, pinning him. He didn't fight, just stared. Belief shattered. Ms. Ellison, are you all right? I'm fine. Thank you, officers. I smiled. As they hauled him out, he screamed with the last air in his lungs. Skylar, did you ever love me? Even for a second. Moonlight sliced my face while I thought. At last I answered. Soft, I did. Hope flashed across his eyes. When you lay bullet-riddled and dying in my arms, I went on. I truly loved you. But now I wish you had died there. The light in him went out for good. The patrol car vanished into the night. I shut the door and turned the bolt. In the bathroom, I ran the tap and scrubbed my hands, over and over, until the skin burned red. I looked up at the woman in the mirror, makeup flawless, smile perfect. My phone chimed, a text from my assistant, Ms. Ellison. Media are set for your Senate hearing at 9 tomorrow. I typed back. Got it. I gave the empty living room one last glance, floor still indented where he'd knelt. The cleaner would erase it in the morning, same as every other time he'd come and gone, except this time he would never return. I climbed the stairs, footfalls echoing through the silent house, step by step, into a future without him. Delighted. Thanks for listening to today's story. Like and share if you enjoyed it. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.